Hello and welcome to MCFC 9320 PUBcast. Hope everyone is well. Unfortunately, I've got an announcement. Izzy Christensen cannot join us tonight because she got paid work with Sky yesterday and she's travelling back from London. But she will reschedule, so apologies, guys. But we've got somebody better. Not Riz, not Paddy, not Anne-Marie. But look who's deflected over from the Mancunian way. Good evening, Pat.
Hello, Andy. Yeah, one night only, one morning only in my case. But yeah, look, guys, I don't know how many you got in the chat, but can we get the super chat through so then Izzy Christensen can regret getting paid by Sky today?
I don't think we quite get Izzy's money on there though. But yeah, she will be joining us, but unfortunately not tonight. Good evening, everybody in the chat as well. Thank you for joining us. Right, let's get straight into it because I've seen a mixed bunch on over on. I know we shouldn't listen to social media and stuff like that, but that's what we have shows like this for. Anne-Marie, I'm going to come straight to you here, right? Because did you actually watch it? Because I know you was out on the piss yesterday, weren't you? With the Golden
I have to be honest and say no. I've only watched the highlights.
Have you? All right, Riz, we'll start with you then, Riz. I'm only joking, Anne-Marie. Okay, what highlights apart from your hair? I know I shouldn't talk. Have you seen and what did you make of it?
I thought first half we were good, and second half something wasn't quite right. It's like we've got all the pieces in place now, but we haven't quite clicked the way we would normally. Which is a little bit concerning when you consider the games we've got coming up in the next few weeks. Mm-hmm. But you know, we're more than capable of rising to the occasion. So I think if you look at Sunday's game against United, I would be amazed if we played like we did yesterday, particularly in the second half against them.
Yep.
We really switched on.
See, I thought yesterday, first half, Paddy, we was okay. Second half, I thought we was a bit, but you can spin it around and say, defensively, I thought we was okay. We look a lot more solid when Stonesy and Diaz is in there, and especially Ake, who I absolutely love. I think if there's a better defender in world football, then in the chat, please tell me, because I've not seen one. I was more than pleased with a 1-0 yesterday, Paddy.
Absolutely. I take 1-0 for the rest of the season. I don't know if like it's starting to pay up, obviously, but I don't know if the balance of the team is right. There's something just not. I don't know, like Nunes out on the left-hand side yesterday. Like that's not his natural position. He seems to be trying to square pegs into round holes. Yes, it's great when it comes off, whatever, but like that second half was fairly laboured yesterday. I don't think we should have took Matteo off. I thought he should have took off Silva and left Matteo on. I see Matteo in alongside the Rivalry. I think they're a good pairing, and he also looks for Haaland all the time. Like the goal came from him, but I just don't balance the team is right, and I think that's why we look kind of slow and predictable in the build-up.
Yeah, I couldn't disagree with a lot of what you said there. But the pleasing thing for me, Riz, is we seem to be conserving energy. Yeah, we'd like us to be popping a few more goals in and stuff like that. And I'm sure with the, 12 games, 13 games left, whatever it is. I'm sure we will get to that. But at the moment, we just seem to be conserving energy, whereas Arsenal and Liverpool are just like at it, full pelt. Whereas, yeah, there's a chance we will get caught with a conceding, by conceding a goal. But I feel like we could turn it up a little bit if we needed to.
I feel we can turn it up a lot, to be honest. It's frustrating because we know what we can do. We've seen us week in, week out with some amazing performances, scoring lots of goals. But I think Pep alluded to it. It's I think the team are fatigued. I think we're tired. It's mentally tough. We're human beings, and we've not been on asthma sprays like Liverpool last season. So, it's okay them running around and doing all this stuff. It's the players have come. We've got a load of players have come back from injury, so that takes time to get up. I mean, I noticed KDB came back, had a couple of had some great cameo roles in it, but then he's been rested again, so he's obviously not 100% as he'd be starting. So for me, Pep's kind of been. He knows. I know he always says, "I only look at the next game. I only look at the game I'm in. I don't look to the next ones."
You believe that?
No, absolutely not. It's nonsense. It's impossible. It's impossible to do that. You can't do that when you're in as many competitions as we are. You can't. You've got to plan ahead. You've got to listen to your physios and your doctors, the medics, and they'll tell you the stats with all the equipment they've got attached to them in training. Who's fit? Who's doing what? Who's running? What they've got now. You have to plan ahead. Because you've got to, and he'll know what team he wants to put out against a certain team a few games in advance. So we've got to balance that. So with these players coming back from injury, and it has been listen, it's been an intense 5 seasons for the fans. So can you imagine what the players are going through as well? And I know the professionals, I know they're tuned in to do this sort of thing, but they're still human beings. Totally. They look a bit leggy, mate. Bernardo looks a bit leggy. There's a few of them just look a little bit tired.
Yeah, Pat, we sort of like alluded to this last night after you saw Pep's post match, and I think he alluded to that. The way he says, he loves his players. He's so proud of his players. These supermen. I think Pep was trying to send a message to some of our fan base where, do you know something? Money doesn't matter. You're a human being at the end of the day. So just because you're on X amount of money doesn't make you less mentally, drained, does it? No,
mate. We're human after all. That's what matters. I had another good look at the second half. I watched the replay specifically the second half last night. And I think a few things were at work there. I think, for starters, Bournemouth, again, as we alluded to yesterday's show, they are a brave team. They're not afraid to have a go, especially against top 6 sides. You even saw that in the late, the 20 minutes before we'd even scored. They were basically man marking. And at times when we're pinging balls through, they only had 2 defenders marking 2 attackers, marking Foden and Haaland. You don't see that from a lot of teams, especially a team that, sitting sort of, just below mid-table, I believe, at the moment. So you've got to take your hat off to them. I think they've got a culture and a mentality at that club that, a lot of other clubs should aspire to be honest. But if we get back to City overall, like looking at the second half, to me, you do get this sense that the squad and Pep, maybe even Pep, are playing this sort of in-game management where they're quite willing to slow things down, slow the tempo. They're worried about fatigue on players. They're worried about not just the amount of minutes, but the intensity of minutes too. And you can see that too by what Liverpool and Arsenal are doing. If they want to go and bag 5, 6 at a time, then they're more than welcome to go and do that. But are you going to still be able to back that up and do the same thing come April, May this season? It's a big ask. Now, I think there's a huge collision of. We're coming to a crossroads at the moment where we've got a team that is chomping at the bit to go one better than what they did last season in Arsenal. You've got a Liverpool team with a Jurgen Klopp on the way out, with a lot of fresh new talent in there too.
Do you mean Klopp's kids?
Yeah, well, playing almost, as I call it, unknown commodity football as well too, because a lot of these players are coming in their first season. So sometimes I've always believed that usually a team with a new manager or a new bunch of players, they can actually overperform because a lot of the other teams aren't really prepared. They haven't. You can't really do your homework until you played against them, basically. And then you've got us who are going for 4 in a row, who history would suggest it's not on our side. But if ever I've seen a team that's won 3 in a row, I don't think there's no other team in history that's been better poised to go for 4 in a row. So
I don't know, mate. Maybe the problem is we're not because we're only a point behind that. We'll start playing better when we get 8 points behind Liverpool, to pip them. We're not used to being a point behind. It's usually 8.
Well, anybody that was having a meltdown after Chelsea, it was like, okay, I understand it was a very, very frustrating game. And, if you take a step back, it may have actually been a point gained as much as 2 points lost. But, sorry, I lost track of what I was going to say there. No, look, I think for me, I look at it and I go, I would prefer to be chasing rather than being chased. Yeah. We've only done it once if you look back on the 7 Premier League titles that we've won under Sheikh Mansour era, I believe 6 of them have come from where we've chased. 11, 12 we chased, 13, 14 we chased, 17, 18 different story, 18, 19 we kind of chased but then sort of held. Well, that was just blow for blow, to be honest. 2021, we were being chased, but then that was a different story. But I think majority of them we have chased, and I think we always play better when we're chasing rather than when we're holding a lead. I'll go back to 21-22. That was the most recent one where we held a lead, but that was just nerve-wracking. That was nerve-wracking all the way till the final day. So for me, I would prefer to chase. But getting back to what I was saying about, in-game management, there are sort of games where we do seem to take our foot off the pedal once we've scored 1 or 2 goals. I'm quite comfortable with that at the moment because I said on Martin's show, I've said probably since the Everton game, maybe even a couple of fixtures before that, we're starting to look as defensively sound as we did this time last year. Yeah, and that's important. To me, that's important because at the end of the day, if you can shut it down at the back, it doesn't matter how many you bag at the front. And for me, I look at it and I go, yeah, sure, it may not be pretty, and it might be. The performance may open up a can of worms to the sort of, small minority of the fan base that want the Galacticos football every single week, but you're not going to get that. And while the Arsenal and Liverpool fans might be absolutely waxing lyrical about bagging 4, 5, 6 a game at the moment, the second it starts drying up again, they're going to have their own little meltdowns themselves. But if we keep winning, then it's all this frustration is just going to be for nothing. So. At the end of the day, I'm not going to say back the process because the process has been working brilliantly for us for the last 7 or 8 years. But we just got to keep the faith and keep going. And at the moment, I'm quietly confident with things how things are going at the moment. And just feel so unfortunately, United, you're going to cop 5 or 6 this weekend.
Well, so I'm Marie. What Alex says there is bang on. We are actually better off than last season. I said on Martin's show last night, I think some of the meltdown is down to perception of the fans because we're not winning 4-5-0. It's like we're not doing that well. Well, there's loads of different factors. Do you put it down to perception or?
I think you do because you just need to look. I mean, last week against Chelsea, you walk away from the game disappointed that you haven't won. But at the same time, it was a point, and and that was the most important. The fact that we didn't lose 3 points.
Yeah, I agree.
And they all counts at the end of the day. I do honestly believe at some point before the end of this season, somebody is going to get a right pasting off us.
So, who would you prefer that to be? Liverpool, Arsenal, or the Rags on Sunday?
That's a very difficult question to answer.
I'd have to say Anfield because if we, God forbid, if it's highly unlikely, but if we went there and smacked them for 3 or 4 or 5, that would absolutely send ripples not just through the Premier League but through English football.
Because I don't
European football, to be honest. Yeah.
Did you watch the final before Pat where there was referencing Klopp's kids?
No, mate. I was enjoying watching the back of my eyelids.
I think it's only early for you. The commentators are Gary Neville and Spitty Carragher, who's like Klopp's kids. Paddy, where did he go with his Klopp's kids rubbish? And And also, I don't think we should be worrying about any other team, by the way.
Well, I wouldn't be worried about any other team. It's like maybe the players are tired, and I know like there's a lot of sports science in terms of what goes into the recovery, what they're running in the training matches. Sometimes the sports science is telling you stop, you've enough, to rest up. We don't know what's happening behind the scenes. We don't know how well Kevin De Bruyne actually is. Like all we see is what Pep puts out on the field. Yes, we've had a lot of draws. Yesterday, I thought that back four, I think Akanji offers more going forward than Walker does.
He was more disciplined yesterday, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Than say what kind of, but it still comes down to me, mate, that I can't help but think, because Akanji plays different than Walker, that must be an instruction from Pep for different scenarios with different games. As Stan always says, different keys for different locks. So maybe a Walker will get criticised because he doesn't do what Akanji does, but some might criticise Akanji because he don't get forward like Walker does. I just feel
I wouldn't. Anybody on that pitch is doing exactly what Pep tells them to do. Otherwise, they wouldn't be honest. But I just think that when Walker is playing and Pep gives him the freedom to go up and be at the opposition box, one long ball of that midfield and top. Yeah, he needs to expose. Like even
hang on, Paddy. How can Anne-Marie reference Walker and exposed in the same sentence? Come on.
It's Anne-Marie's dirty mind. That's what it is. She's at it again. She's been out with the Golden Girls yesterday, and
she's out with it. The Golden Girls are out yesterday. Lock up your husband.
Did you notice that Doku done a lot more defending yesterday? He did a lot more tracking back. I think we've noticed, like we've said it on here, that he doesn't track back much. He certainly did that yesterday a hell of a lot. But I definitely do think we are exposed at the back. But again,
Paddy, have you noticed even the last couple of games, Doku's been drifting into central midfield?
Yep.
Yep.
I just think Doku's at the point where he doesn't know Riz, what he's supposed to. He don't know.
100%. Listen, when Doku first came onto the scene, he was a breath of fresh air because he was basically, the best way I can describe it is a headless chicken. He was running around. He was doing all the tricks. He was playing his game, the game he wanted to play. And unfortunately, it worked out because he scored some goals. But the rest of the team didn't really have a clue what he was doing because he didn't know what he was doing himself, if I'm being honest. Now Pep's got hold of him and he's gone through more training sessions. He's now caught in two minds because, it's that what do they call it?
Social media.
No.
He's seeing people slaughtering him for not tracking back. So he's trying to track back.
No, he's not going to. If he's got any sense, he won't listen to social media. He's listening to what Pep's telling him. But because he's got that muscle memory that he does what he's normally done. So he's got Pep in his ear all the time, either physically or in his head, saying, do this, do that. In this situation, do this, do that. So he's caught in two minds, and you can see that. You can see it. But now he's starting to develop his game to fit in around the team. And you'll see the best of him next season. Doku, if it weren't for Grealish being injured, I don't think we'd have seen as much as Doku as we have.
No, true, Riz. Sorry, Andy. Riz, just what you're saying about Doku is he only played just over 1,000 minutes in the French league for Rennes last season.
Yeah.
This guy, and being 21 years of age, this guy is. I would even put him in that category of like give him a season under Pep. I'd say give him 2 or 3. He's definitely got this. You got the sense that this is some sort of long-term project for Pep. So
100%.
Just let the guy cook whenever he gets a chance. And the only problem we have, I think, to be honest, when it all comes down to Doku, the only problem we all have collectively is stop all the online hate against Grealish because you're trying to big up Doku all the time. That's it. Let the kids play. Let the kids play and let them bag as much as they can.
I still say our most tried and tested Riz is on the left is Ake and Grealish. They've got
an understanding.
They've got that understanding, haven't they? And we also look better when Stones is in the side at the side of Diaz as well. And as DC says there, I rewatched last night's game and I'm not as worried as I was originally. And that is it. It's just because we're winning 1-0 now.
You know what? Before everyone I listen to who makes sense, everybody said, sometimes you as well, Andy. Everybody said who knows what they're on about that was going to be a tough game yesterday, and it was one hell of a tough game, and we came out of it on top. You know, it was a physical game. It was a hard game. They didn't park the bus. You know, everybody says, "Oh, what do you expect? We can't." You know, when every team parks the bus, they didn't park the bus. They came and had a go, and it was hard work for us because it wasn't what we're used to.
We're not going to get teams rolling over for us, though, are we, mate? You know, with the world champions, everybody wants to beat us. It's not as
it's everybody's cup final.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. 100%.
So, what are you suggesting? They shouldn't wear those world champion badges on their shirts anymore?
Yeah, stop rubbing it.
The opposition players see that and oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I don't know if we're contractually obliged to wear them, are we, Paddy? But like DC says, their second half wasn't as shambolic as I thought when I watched it back, and it is. I totally agree with that. I think when you're in the moment and you're watching it and you only watch it once and you're caught up with the moment, your mind, and then you go on social media and people have seen the same as you. Like, I don't watch Match of the Day, and I've give up watching Match of the Day because I'd rather watch the City, you know, whether it's the highlights from, you know, City themselves or a source, a way of watching the match in full again. And even when I'm at the match, I always like to try and watch it when I get home again, you know, even if it's a poor game, because I think you get a better gauge then whether you're watching it on TV, whether you're watching it live, you get some sort of balance.
Yeah.
I think that Bournemouth came at us in the second half, and I couldn't say that we didn't win them. We did. Obviously, they didn't score. But I thought that tackle on Nunes in the first half, right in front of Pep, and they didn't even book that player. Like, that nasty, he was out of control. I don't care what they say. That, again, you're talking about commentators. One of the worst on Sky is that Alan Smith that was commentating in our game yesterday. He says, it was harsh, but it was fair. Like, it's this. He says it all the time about the tackles and our players.
Don't get me going on commentary.
It's just, like, Bournemouth probably played better in the second half than us, but
I agree with you. I agree with you. When I kept Kovacic on, I thought he was outstanding yesterday, to be honest, driving the midfield forward. But
Kovacic looks like he's starting to figure it out now.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
It was about this time last season when Pep started going with that tried and trusted 11, wasn't it? For me, like I don't know if anybody agrees. My tried and tested 11. If I was picking the team, obviously Pep's more qualified than this ball genius. Ball bag. I'd be going with Edison, Ake, Diaz, Stones, Walker. Then I'd be going Rodri, De Bruyne, Grealish, Bernardo, Foden, Haaland. I think for me that is our key.
No.
Bernardo looks tired.
Yeah, but he does. I don't think he played well yesterday, but you'd have him, wouldn't you? Because
but I I'm just thinking he looks tired.
Yeah, but like he does look tired. I
would definitely have Matteo. Matteo has to be in beside Rivalry for me. It forms us up perfectly. I know you're losing a creative player in midfield.
But what was brilliant? What was also brilliant about yesterday's game too, Paddy, was obviously Kovacic was brilliant. Rodri had a solid game, but what really stood out for me was John Stones. Just any time there was some sort of space that was opened up in midfield, he was there. Every time he was there, it's one of the best. It was one of the best performances I've ever seen from John Stones. To be honest, I thought he was everywhere. He was my man of the match. Everywhere you wanted him to be. In fact, there were times there where he was making runs like Haaland. If he wasn't handicapped by so many leg injuries and being a defender, he probably would have been on goal a bit quicker than bloody Haaland would have been. He was just absolutely brilliant yesterday. And if he keeps playing like that, with Kovacic figuring it out and Rodri being still being the quality player, the world class player that he is, I just feel so confident with whoever we play at the back there. As long as John Stones stays healthy, I think that is a huge key.
I think
that'll be a huge key for our push for the end of the season.
Completely agree, Pat. And what was interesting was on Match of the Day last night when they interviewed John Stones, they made a comment that it was 31 years ago yesterday since Bobby Moore died. And it was more or less a comparison to John Stones to what type of player he is. And John Stones said that how good it would have been to be able to play with somebody like Bobby Moore. And it shows you what people think of him and can see when he's playing. And I think he's a really key factor into our success going forward. Yeah, we have to keep him fit. We have to keep him fit because I think
he's as important as Rodri.
Yes, he is.
It was interesting an interview with Rodri about his performances. I don't know if it was with City TV or not, but they basically asked him about how good he is in midfield and how does he get in the positions, and he went, I don't chase the ball, I just find myself going to an area and the ball seems to come to me, and it makes sense, doesn't it? It's like when you attack the space and stuff like that rather than attacking the man and the ball and stuff.
If you've got good players around you, you can do that.
Yeah. So I think that's what
if you've got the players around you, you'll do that. When I was playing rugby, I used to have a standoff, and it's like, where do you want us to hit the ball? I said, just run into a space and I'll find you.
Yep.
And he did. He passed the ball into spaces and people weren't in him. We got the roasting because we weren't in the space. It wasn't his fault because he passed the ball to nobody. We should have been in that space, and that's what he's saying is that the team's set up that well that they know where each other should be and where they're going to be. So people play the pass into the space, knowing that such a player will fit into that slot. And when it's working, it works a treat.
I've got a question
about Rodri. He's never static in midfield, and I think that's where Calvin Phillips lacked. Like when Rodri passed the ball, he moved, and he was in another position to receive the ball again, and he passed it again, and he moved. He's always in a position to receive the ball. If you notice that about Rodri,
KP looked like he was permanently flat-footed.
Yeah,
that's what he looked like. Taking the ball, defending everything. He always just looked flat-footed. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah. I've got a question. I've got a question here from Gunners in TikTok. We're live on TikTok as well. Good evening, Peter, as well. Gunners wants to know that if Arsenal win at the Etihad, can they go on to win the league still, or no, or yes? I still say even if they won and we didn't, I still think it'd be Liverpool. Do you reckon, Paddy? Go with you first, mate.
That's an impossible. I'd still have fancied us. There's to say 12 games left. We haven't really hit squeaky bum time, as they call it, yet. They haven't been any pressure matches yet. The last 5 or 6 matches are going to be the pressure matches. Can Arsenal deal with that pressure, or are they going to fold? We've had a lot of experience in them environments. The Champions League, won the league 3 times in a row. Been there, done that. Them players have experienced that. I know you had the experience for the first time, but I don't think Arsenal are mentally tough enough to be deal with that. I think if we don't win the league, it will be Liverpool, but I can't see someone this.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Anne-Marie, do you think if we wasn't to win the league, I still think we will, by the way. Who do you think's better suited, Arsenal or Liverpool? Sorry, Klopp's kids or Arteta's whingers? Sorry, Arteta's bottlers or Klopp's kids?
It's a no-win question, that, for me, because while I believe Liverpool would be in the best position to win the league, I definitely don't want them to win the league. Above anything else, I don't want them to win the league.
I'd rather whack me gonads in a car door.
And I'll tell you another thing that Arsenal have is they have a man on the sideline who's far too emotional.
Yeah.
Like he has that team wound up to high heaven, and the team will feed off that. Like, all right, you could say that about Pep and Klopp times, whatever, but Arteta he's like a he's like he's going to the moon. And
Pep doesn't change.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at.
Sorry,
I'm just laughing at Peter in TikTok. He goes, "Wish.com, City or Klopp's farewell tour or the Surgeons of City." Sorry, Pat. Go on, mate.
I'm like Anne-Marie. I can't bring myself round to the Klopp's kittens winning it. I'm even if I think they could, I'm not going to say I think they could because it'd be unbearable. It'd be unbearable. Paddy's right there when he's talking about Arteta. The players on the pitch are basically a version of the manager, and he's emotionally unstable on the sideline. So I think as you say, he feeds off that. Klopp, he's the same. He's 1 minute he's angry, getting the crowd going. Next minute he loves everybody. So I think he's a bit deranged. The only person that stays true to themselves in public is Pep. Whether it's on the sidelines, whether it's in a press conference, it doesn't matter where. He is the same. Now, when he goes backstage, if you like, in the changing rooms, behind the scenes, he might be completely different.
Yeah,
we had the insight with the Prime Video thing, but he's the only one that's emotionally stable on the touchline.
Take the tackle on Nunes yesterday happened right in front of Pep. Substitute Pep for Klopp or Arteta, and that happened in front of them, and you'll see a difference.
Well, Klopp was at it today.
Yeah, Klopp was at it today, but in fairness to Klopp, the tackle that got your man stretchered off, I don't know what his name is, was very similar to the tackle that the same player did last week against Bernardo. And we were mad at the tackle on Bernardo. So you can see where he's lost another one of his key players possibly because of a bad tackle. You would be mad at that. I will say that that's fair enough. But I think you're right.
I'm not too fussed about that. The reason why I'm not too fussed about it's happened twice to us with Stones and think through bad officiate. But Alex says there, Pat, does anyone actually think City players will want to lose our titles? Seriously. And that is a brilliant, brilliant point because the motivation of not only going toe-to-toe with Klopp and Arteta, it's getting that 4 on the bounce in it. What will motivate them more than? But I think that would motivate them more than the Champions League. It's just that the 4 on the bounce in the Premier League.
Andy, the proof is in what everybody said has been put up on the wall at the City Academy when the players come in about saying no team in English history has won 4 top flight leagues in a row. ... Yet. That's more than enough motivation, I think, for the players to put everything in and go for it.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
Just adding on to what was it Peter on TikTok said. Yeah, for me, if you want to break it down to bloody fan bases, it's almost like Arsenal, Liverpool, pick your poison. But Yeah, because I agree with everybody. The last thing we want to see is more open top buses going through Merseyside. But the other problem with Arsenal too is that you've got a massive, almost atomic collision of fan bases where you've got the old school who are trying to keep the young hype, who get around all the Arteta hype and everything, trying to keep them on a level, keep them level headed. And obviously they just come to clashes every single week, whether it's a positive outcome or a negative outcome. So God forbid if they ever won a league title, because I don't know, there'd be chaos in the streets of North London. Just another thing I wanted to add on to is yeah. But speaking of North London, there is something interesting I wanted to add here too. There is a possibility that Tottenham may play a huge factor in who actually wins the title this season. I'm going to show you some of their fixtures that they've got coming up for the month of April. Yep. So the weekend of 21st of April is when we go play away at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The following weekend is the North London Derby. And then the weekend after that, Tottenham go to Anfield. So in three straight weeks, Tottenham plays City, Arsenal, and Liverpool.
Yeah,
title could be decided within 2. Sorry, mate?
Do you know what's going to happen there? Like, we'll go to we haven't won in the league yet, but we'll go there to the Tottenham Hotspur. They'd play the best game of their life. They'll be absolutely scared for the North London Derby, and they'll get stuffed 6-0 by Arsenal. Yeah, guaranteed.
Or the other thing too is, like, everybody's talked about like our form at Tottenham and that. I think the big reason why our form has been poor at Tottenham for the last few years is because we always seem to play them in the first half of the season. They come out of the blocks hot, out the gate hot. They always start hot every league season. We spend half the season trying to get ourselves sorted out by just trying to get points any way possible. But we never play them in the back half of the season when we're absolutely purring and firing on all cylinders.
You're right.
So I think that's a huge factor too. Sorry?
It happened at our place. They came and they was like firing all, even though we should have beaten. It was, so that's a great point, to be fair, mate.
Yeah. So I think a lot of the time fixtures can determine form at certain grounds.
Yeah.
Fixtures,
Yeah, they're perfect. I think you're spot on. I didn't realise that was the fixtures that they've got, and I genuinely think we are playing well within ourselves, and I think Pep's. I know it's easy to say, like, well, it's a dangerous game to play, but when you're doing something that no other team's ever done before, you've got to do things differently. Surely, it's proof of the pudding. Nobody else has done it, so we've got to try something different. And I genuinely think the team are managing the games and playing within themselves. Now the defence is sorted. I think you said it earlier that the defence is sorted. We're not overstretching. We can we're basically managing the game over 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Ready for this long running that
I
we're
think
going to have.
There's even a bit of in-game management too. Change
Absolutely.
tempo. Certain personnel working with more intensity than others.
Yeah.
I think you can see the difference. There's no more of this Centurion gung ho for 90 minutes. And then, if it doesn't work out, all of a sudden you start conceding goals at the other end.
The thing is, at the end of the season,
there's a lot more structure in game to how we manage players. Yeah.
If we're scoring sort of like 4 or 5 goals every week, fantastic. But that's only great if it comes down to goal difference. But at the end of the season, if we win the league by 1 point, the opposition could have scored 30 goals more than us, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We can win. Paddy said it. We just win 1-0 every week. That'll do it.
That's boring. But when Arsenal used to do it, win 1-0, everybody was, euphoria of them. But I agree, Riz. The last time the Premier League got finished on goal difference was when we first won the Premier League. So history says it happens very, very rare. But Anne-Marie, City Mike wants to say, can we talk about Nunes? Yeah, and I think it's a great point actually, because I thought he was on the left yesterday. Nunes will be okay, in my opinion. He will be okay.
I think he'll be okay. He's got them. You can see what he's capable of, and I think he just needs to. It's not so much calm down, but he needs to just have a bit more confidence in himself when he's playing, because he's more than capable. We can see that, but it's just a little bit manic at times with him. But I definitely think he's going to be a good player for us.
Yeah, he has the raw materials. But like as Jack Greedy said, and Jack Greedy was a big fish in a small pond at Aston Villa, and he walked into that Man City dressing room, which is circular. There's no hiding, there's no corners, and he looked around and he thought, "Oh my God," he said, "Was just superstar after superstar." So like Nunes again, like Doku is going to take at least a season to settle in until he understands Pep's mindset or game plan or how he wants to manage the game. And this what you said is about us not going gung-ho. I think Haaland and Grealish corner routine at the end of games is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
I just love it. You know, I think it was the best one. Was it against Newcastle we did it?
Yeah, we've done it 2 seasons on the trot against Newcastle in the corner.
Because before, we used to go for the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-0. Now we don't. Now it's more slow and controlled and conserved and work the space if it doesn't work. That's another thing that Duke was doing a hell of a lot more is recycling the ball.
Yeah.
He doesn't try and beat the man all the time.
He doesn't lose it as much now, does he?
No, he recycles it a hell of a lot more.
Yeah, Anthony says, evening panel, good result, and we go again. Did you see Pedro Neto today? Classy left foot and pace earned him in the summer. Your thoughts?
Oh yeah,
quality player, but I'll tell you what, our medical team would be working overtime to keep him in good nick because that guy's made of biscuits.
Yeah.
Injured so often.
I was going to say, injury, because everybody, if they could have took one player from Wolves last season, it would have been Nunes. So we've got to be careful on listen, if there was one player we could have took from Leeds a couple of seasons ago, it was Calvin Phillips. So we need to be careful about these kind of players. And that's why I know it's an old cliche, not Gale cliche, by the way, because he is getting on a bit. We have to trust Pep. We have to trust Pep and the scouts, because otherwise, as Pat says, we're going to end up with like either bench warmers or players what are not quite good enough. But the thing about getting back to Nunes, the difference, everyone's comparing him to Calvin Phillips. Not for me, because the difference is Calvin Phillips wasn't getting minutes, whereas Nunes is getting minutes, so he's got more chance of making it for himself than Calvin. Do you agree, Liz?
A different type of player as well.
Yeah, of course he is. Yeah, of course he is. And he hasn't got somebody like Rodri in his position, has he? Because you ain't moving Rodri out of that position. I like Gallagher. I like Gallagher for Chelsea, to be honest. I think he could fit in at City. I think he's got the credentials to play for City.
Who's that?
Gallagher that plays for Chelsea.
No, I can't stand him.
Is he good enough to start though? Because if he was going to come to City, he'd want to be good enough to start.
Well, yeah, he's not going to start, is he?
Player, but just that's the only question mark I have.
But he's only young, isn't he?
I prefer Frank Gallagher, mate. No, I just don't.
We're going back in for your man Paqueta at West Ham in the summer.
That frustrates me. I still think the FA are taking their time with that because they know we're interested in purchasing him.
Great point, to be fair, mate.
I really do. I really do. It frustrates me. The more we talk about it, the more I get frustrated about it. Yeah. Now look, if I can put, sorry, Paddy.
I was just going to say that you could pick him up for 30 or 40 million plus Calvin Phillips as part of the deal.
I don't know if West Ham will want Calvin Phillips at the moment.
Yeah, he's not done us any favours there, has he?
Yeah. No, he won't. Yeah, Calvin Phillips will just be more like a can of tyres and a couple of curly whirlies.
The interview in a West Ham fan after the match last week or 2 weeks ago, the time he was sent off, and he says, I don't know about the Yorkshire Perlo. He's more like a fucking Yorkshire pudding.
Oh God, yeah. Now look, if I could just put my 2 cents in about Nunes, And I've tried to have it's not difficult to have a level-headed approach towards Nunes when you've got a part-time panelist on our show who just keeps bloody, trying to dig his own grave for him
Alan!
in the form of your best mate, Alan. Yeah, Sir Alan, my ass. The thing with Nunes, and the reason why I'm willing to give time on this guy, is because if we go back to the first time Pat mentioned him, when we played Sporting Lisbon in the knockouts of the Champions League 2 seasons ago, the guy was waxing lyrical about him. I believe he mentioned him at least both press conferences and both legs of the round of 16 or whenever we played him. And he was just waxing lyrical about this guy. He was talking about it. He wanted to get him through the door, basically indirectly saying, I want this guy through the door as soon as the club can, allow me to get him through. Now, obviously he does. Obviously, he comes to Wolves, basically Portugal of the Midlands, spends a season there. When he comes in, he's basically coming to. First of all, he's got to adjust to England. It can take time it can take longer for some players than others.
Yeah,
he comes into a Wolves side that probably weren't as good as they were under Espirito Santo, especially in those first couple of seasons. I think they made it into Europe and things like that. But you got to talk about, at the time, I believe he came in just as one manager was about to go out in Bruno Lage. He spent considerable amount of months of the previous season managed under Lopetegui. And then Lopetegui went at some point in the season, and Gary O'Neill comes in. So for me, it's a combination of adjusting to England while adjusting to three different managerial changes and three different styles of play, under that manager as well. Also going from probably being one of the top players in a respectable league in one of the top teams in Sporting Lisbon as well, to being just a solid mainstay midfielder in a mid-table team in another country. Now all of a sudden he's coming to the champions under Pep. He wants to impress. It's his first season. We saw there's a couple of times he got dispossessed or he made some needless passes in the game. He's going to do that. He's still going to continue doing that from time to time. The guy doesn't need a year to get in. I think he needs 2 or 3. He needs to be settled. He needs to be, he just needs to have Pep's arm around his shoulder at the right time, the right support from teammates. And you can see it too. Like whenever you see him associating with other players at training sessions and things like that, he seems to be getting along really, really well with the players. So this guy, I think, can be classified to me as a long-term project. The guy's going to take time. We will see the fruits of his labor sooner or later. But for the now, he just needs to make the most of the time that's given to him, the matches he gets, the minutes he gets. And I think sooner or later, we are going to see a quality midfielder there. At the moment, I like him when he plays more of an expansive midfield role. If he drifts out to the right, drifts out to the left, because when you give him space, he looks fantastic on the ball. It's just sometimes his decision making is just a little bit poor, but that'll take. Not everybody's going to hit the ground running straight away in their first season. So yeah, for me, as long as they keep putting him at places where he's most beneficial to the squad, I think if he just plays a little bit more expensive out to the left, out to the right, you'll see good things from him. And as time goes on, hopefully he can drift in and become a bit more of an effective midfielder. And for me, just give the kid time, and I think we'll see good things from him.
No, I totally agree. What's your thoughts, Riz? Do you think he's part of it? He's part of the
team? Yeah, he's for the future. He's people keep going on about what a terrible window we've just had and blah blah blah, and I disagree. We've bought players in for the future. We've got to bring these players in because it's constantly evolving. You keep gone are the days where players stay at the club for like 9 years and then we get rid of them and then it's like, what we're going to do now? You've got the way Pep sets things up. You've got to integrate players into the setup, and you can't just bring a load in all at once. And it's working. It's working a treat. Let's have it right. If we talked about his results and not performances, we ain't got a problem, have we? No. It's only because we're used to banging loads of goals in and totally destroying teams. We're still totally destroying most teams. We're just not putting the ball in the back of the net, but we're still winning. We're still on 70% possession when we play. So to me, that is destroying teams.
We're just grinding them down.
Yeah, we're stopping them scoring now, which has been a problem before because we used to have all this possession and then they get one chance on goal and score. We seem to be, as of late, sorting that out now. So this is where we now kick on. We've sorted the back out. Doesn't matter. We just need to score one goal. Forget all. I'd love to see us playing Kevin Keegan style.
I'd love it.
They score 3, we score 5. It's great. I'd love that, but we ain't doing that. This is a serious season. We could do something that no other club has done.
But
we have to do it. We have to be careful and do things more controlled.
Riz, if people thought the sort of like the same as you, there, sort of like 5-3. That's only the same as 2-0. I'd rather take 2-0, mate.
Yeah, I'd take 1-0 if we get the points. Listen, it's nerve-wracking. It's nerve-wracking to watch at home. It's not as nerve-wracking when you're in the stadium. When you're watching at home, you're nervous because it's different. In the stadium, you feed off each other, so you can feel it, and it's great. But we'll see.
Yeah, Amory, what's your spin on him? Because predominantly I think he's best on the right and cutting in. He's got more than a Calvin Phillips about him, hasn't he?
Oh God, yeah.
Even you have to be fair, love.
Well, that's right. Yeah, I could pass a ball better than Calvin Phillips. That's for sure. I think. It's like with all things, some players take time, and we thought that with Calvin Phillips, give him a season, and he had his season, walked away with, being a treble winner, having barely kicked a ball, and we didn't see any massive improvement or any extra game time at the start of this season. So Calvin Phillips was never going to work, I don't think. I still believe Calvin Phillips was bought to fill a spot as an English player. That's what I honestly believe.
What, on the bench?
Well, yes, on the bench. If you think we got rid of, Sterling went, so we lost one of our English players. We had to fill.
I don't go.
Sheikh Mansour's laboratory wasn't able to clone Scott Carson. Said, "I'll just pay 40 million for Calvin Phillips."
I don't go with Amory because why save 50 million pound for Calvin Phillips just because he's English? And if Pep thought I'm not going to play him anyway, you may as well.
But I don't think it was a case of Pep thought he wasn't going to play him. I think it was a case of we thought he was better than he was. That's what I honestly believe. I think if it's like it could easily have happened with Grealish. Grealish was a great player in an average team at the time. And we went out and spent 100 million on him. It could quite easily have been a case that he came to us and turned out to be just an average player in a great team. It could easily have happened, and I think that was with Calvin Phillips. Calvin Phillips was a good player in a bang average Leeds team.
Emery, do you think his previous manager may have had an influence on that too with Bielsa?
Oh, I'm damn sure of it.
Yeah, I think the Bielsa factor played a big part in that because Pep puts a lot of his football philosophy down to Bielsa.
But Calvin Phillips should never have been signed by City. It was a case of getting him in because I do believe we needed another English player, and to get him in because to stop other people trying to buy him, and it backfired on us.
I think we thought United might have come in and offered 60 million, and like they normally do, and they stopped bidding, didn't they?
Yeah,
and we got stuck with the crap auction present that we didn't really want, but we wanted United to pay more money for again.
That's Omar Barada. That he knew he was going to the
exactly. Yeah,
so he thought, I'll stuff City with this one, just to put a good word in at United.
Yeah. He knew.
I can see us doing that. The reasons that Amory outlined for signing Phillips to if you look at the players we've walked away from, going back even as far as Harry Maguire, the City have Declan Rice, the most recent one. We have a price, and if say Harry Kane, they wanted so much for Harry Kane, and we weren't willing to meet that valuation. I don't think we signed Calvin Phillips just because he's English. because it'd been as easy to promote somebody from the academy because there was enough of them there at that time. So I would say McAtee is equal in terms of football and capabilities as Calvin Phillips, and we could have saved ourselves 50 million.
That's what I was saying, mate. I agree with you. We could have just promoted an English lad within rather than waste, say 50 million.
I think Anne-Marie's kind of on the right lines in a way, because I think we've bought Calvin Phillips and then realised we've made a mistake. City within a couple of weeks realised they'd made a mistake. Well, I don't know. I don't know what that mistake was. I don't know why they went for him in the first place. Perhaps they thought they were getting Sean Wright Phillips. I don't know. And they went in for the wrong one. Yeah. So I don't know. There's something very odd about that Calvin Phillips signing. I can't imagine we'd buy him to stop another team getting him, because he's not that good.
Have we thought?
I just don't know. I don't know. I'd love to read Pep's memoirs in years to come.
Have we just my understanding of it is right. My understanding of Calvin Phillips is, and Pep has alluded to this every time he spoke about him. Now, Pep has blamed himself to take the heat off the players, saying that it's his fault he can't get the best out. But I don't think, in terms of football intelligence and reading of the game, I don't think that. I think we've seen Calvin Phillips play the way he did with Leeds and thinking he would pick up what Pep wanted him to do. And then, as you say, 2 or 3 weeks in training, and Pep's looking at this player thinking, he's not getting what I'm saying. No matter how many times I tell him, he's not doing it, he's not getting it. And yes, he's a very good player, but I think he lacks.
I can relate to it, I can relate to what Pep's done, mate. Like, listen, I'm sure we've all done it. I know I've done it plenty of times. Pep's probably gone out on the lash, and I'll give you an analogy. I seem to buy more off Amazon when I'm pissed. I reckon Pep's coming pissed and gone.
He's had too much sangria from his restaurant down at Deansgate. Yeah,
Pep coming pissed playing FIFA and gone, Calvin Phillips, I'm having him.
I've heard the sangria at Tust is meant to be have a bit of spike to it.
Yeah, he thought he was buying him off the
he definitely didn't fucking buy him off Amazon. He must have bought him off Wish.
Okay, we're having a bit of humour here at the expense of Calvin Phillips at the moment, but does everybody feel a bit more reassured now that we're seeing Kovacic actually starting to figure it out now and playing good football?
Oh, absolutely.
Less pressure on Rodri. You feel like it's just come at the right time, But I think the other talking point too is to say, Calvin Phillips is out the door now. What's going to happen now in terms of the backup for Rodri in the incoming years? And we talked about for months and months about Joshua Kimmich coming through, but now that could change now with obviously the coming out that Tommy Tuchel is going to be on the way out of Bayern, which means definitely a new manager through the door, which means probably Kimmich is probably going to stay. I don't want him to. I think he'd be great under Pep. It would be great to see him back under Pep.
Yeah,
but that's just the way the politics of football work.
There's a question there for Anne-Marie.
Yeah, and Alec, I can tell you the answers now. I didn't send.
Anne-Marie, I know you love me.
I love him. Absolutely love him.
I love you too.
There's your answer, Alec.
It never fails to make me laugh. That.
It's the same as.
Anne-Marie didn't send one because I don't think they celebrate Valentine's Day in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
like, this one creases Paddy up.
For that night,
Manchester.
Oh, it's the best. Go on, play it.
Go on.
Manchester United.
After this weekend, it just
So, Paddy, we want to ask you a question now. Come on.
Is you know that guy who does that? Has he got a podcast or something, or does he do it every week or what?
I've seen him on TikTok doing other teams as well, but you can't beat the United one.
No.
Or you know what the funny one is when he's trying to read the lineup from the Champions League final we lost to Chelsea.
Yeah.
And he's doing like the full names based on what it is on their passports, and it's an absolute it's absolute gold. It's so funny.
Because he just kind of stumbles because
if you listen to him say trying to say Alexander Zinchenko, it's one of the funniest things ever.
Oh, we need more of that on TikTok. We need more of stuff like that on Twitter because it's toxic at the moment, and we need loads more of that sort of stuff.
Absolutely, and that's why I love doing this show, mate. We always have a giggle if nothing else, don't we, Anne-Marie?
Oh yes, usually at my expense, but
she'll be messaging her all later, going, "You bastards."
I won't be I have never messaged you anything like that, Andy.
You are.
You're lucky, Andy. You're lucky, Andy. I just get pictures.
Right. She just send me a message now, and I'll show you. Andy, you bastard! You play that one more time, and I resign. Look. Swearing at me and everything. You
know, she sent me a picture the other week, and she was pulling a moonie. She was pulling a moonie, and it looked like an old swallow's nest full of shit and twigs. It was.
Oh my god! How can you delete a thought?
I can't. I've copied the picture and laminated it.
So anyway, the Yorkshire Perlo. Or like the Yorkshire pudding.
Can we talk about Joe Hart's retirement maybe, just for a few minutes? And
yes.
I heard the fans singing his name at Bournemouth. That was great.
Yeah. I mean, he's one player that I really sort of feel for in a way, because his fall from grace at City happened overnight, and it followed his career down, didn't it?
I think
he seemed to be at the top of the world, and then just fell off a cliff.
Great point, that mate. It's almost like it broke his heart. Pardon the pun, no pun intended. You know that he never was the same after what happened.
Because let's have it right, he did have his faults. I mean, that to the left was a big fault, but he was a top class keeper, and some of the performances he used to put in. That one at home against Barcelona was outstanding. Away. Yeah, there was loads. When he was on it, and full respect to the guy. And I wish him luck in his retirement, and he'll probably be on the TV as a pundit, I would have thought, because he's very eloquent, isn't he? So.
I hope so, mate. I'd like to see him go into coaching as well. It won't be at City under Pep anyway, because for obvious reasons. But
on a serious note, Liz,
we've got Richard Wright anyway, and Carson's waiting in the wings.
Exactly, he's not going to get ahead of him.
Got plenty of training depth, or current training depth and future training depth.
Yeah.
Anthony says, well, for all of us. 3 players you can sign in the summer. Who would you and why? I will go first. I will say, in fact, I'll go last. Riz, you go first.
Right. First and foremost, I would sign myself, because I get loads of money, and I could do exactly what Scott Carson does. So I could be sort of like the midfield version of Scott Carson.
I'd say Jan Holby, mate.
And then
Riz, you've been in a dark room and everybody'd say, why are we re-signing Stephen Ireland?
yeah. Stephen Hawkins.
Yeah. Stephen Hawkins only has 4 grand pounds. Stephen Ireland.
It's a tough one, that, because
that'd do. You wouldn't need anybody else if you signed me. So I'd save a load of money, and I'd play for 300 a week. So Yeah, happy days.
I've starred that one. I'm going to think about that because that's a tough one to answer straight off the top of your head. Keith says cover is grand now, but he's made a glass too. I don't know. I think he uses class. What's he won? 3 Champions Leagues.
4, I think.
Yo. Oh, it's Pep. Pep's on. Pep's on. He didn't realise I was available, so he's
back
having
on
a word.
Steve Rea, that's why he's joined the show.
Yeah.
Remember when we was going to tell that story about on our way back from Wembley?
Oh God, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Listen, everybody. I hope you're sitting. This is comical. Riz, over to you, mate.
Well, obviously we'd had a few sangrias and stuff, and we were on Jaeger bombs, hadn't we? And we're coming back from the cup final, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it cup final? Yeah, and we'd won. So we're coming back, and then Andy managed to. He said, let's give Jurgen Klopp a ring.
For some reason, I acquired Jurgen Klopp's mobile number. Previous to that.
So we're all thinking, yeah, right, whatever. I said, yeah, give it here then. Give it here. Anyway, so it rings, and then you're thinking like, what? It's not going to know. Oh, somebody's answered. So it's on loudspeaker as well, and somebody answered. So
I'm on the coach on the way back from Wembley. Yeah,
so it all went quiet on the coach, and I'm no expert, but I would say I am 99.9% sure it was Jurgen Klopp because he had the same voice, same accent. It was everything. So we had a conversation. I can't remember 100%. I was trying to do.
You said
Pep.
you was Pep to him.
I was
he started talking to you until he realised.
I said I was Pep, right? And I was just sort of like ringing him about the result and everything, and the bet we'd had, and giving it all. Listen, I tried to put on the worst Pep. It must have been the worst Pep accent. I couldn't even attempt it now, but it was a shocking accent. Anyway, so he kind of went along with it for a bit, and then must have realised because I think he could hear people laughing about it. But it was in a restaurant. He was in a restaurant having a meal with his family, I think, from what I could work out.
He was in his kitchen.
Is that what it was? Is that where he was?
We actually FaceTimed him. We didn't just phone him, we FaceTimed him.
All right, well, I don't know. I would...
Because we was in the dark and he just seen your bald head. At first he thought you was Pep and he was talking to you.
Yeah.
We were laughing and everything in the background and just...
So we rang him back again, didn't we?
Yeah, he blocked me.
Blocked us. But I'm convinced it was definitely him. It was definitely Pep. I know he listens to the show, so, Pep, if it was, come back on and tell us your side of it.
You know, one of the comical moments in my life, that, mate. It really was. You doing a Pep accent in Welsh, it was just so funny.
Yeah, but I couldn't remember what Pep was short for. So I said, it's Pep, it's Pepito here. He must have thought I was in Pinocchio or something. Pepito.
Honestly, mate, one of the funniest moments ever.
Yeah, in that case, I'm just wondering how big your bloody nose was by the end of that, mate.
I won't go sideways.
Oh, yeah. Great. Can we talk, Luton? Yeah, right. So we've got the great point. We were just having a giggle. Oh, God, it threw me, that one. Luton, FA Cup. That's certainly not a foregone conclusion, is it?
Tuesday night on ITV.
Why is it Tuesday, anyway?
Because all the games in this round are played midweek.
Isn't there one on every night or something? Or is there a game on every night, isn't there, or something?
Yeah, this is the only fixture. This is the last fixture where they play midweek and then they move back to weekends. So if we progress, they'll have to move the fixture 18th of March, I think it is. Well, they'll have to move Brighton away.
Yeah,
they have to move that. Yeah, which if we keep winning, won't be until right at the end of the season.
Yeah, exactly. That's all we need to do.
Yeah,
it's not going to be an easy match, though.
No, not at all.
They're a scrappy team. They find a way. The thing I'm looking for, and I don't want to get ahead of myself to next weekend, but the thing I like about them is because they play good football on the break. then for me, that's a perfect warm-up for the derby because that's what United are doing, doing most of this season.
That's all they do.
It's a great warm-up. And then they've got to go, I think they've got to go away to Forest. Who'll have the bit between their teeth because defensively they were awful against Villa on the weekend. So I'm getting sidetracked because we should be talking about Villa, but you just know that there's a lot of positive, a lot of plus points about this game that we can take into the weekend. But yeah, scrappy team. They'll find a way. It's at Kenilworth Road. I can't see it. I could just see it being a carbon copy of the league match.
Yeah. When
it'll be a grind. It'll be a real grind.
Kick us up and down, Paddy, like they did it.
Exactly.
In the league.
But that's okay. So according to Alan Smith, we have to expect that. But it'll be lump ball. The balls be coming in, long throw-ins, corners, free kicks. They'll definitely test that defence. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Ross Barkley's
As
playing
you say,
well.
that's what we need, innit? We need a good sort of test like that. Get us ready for the playing Wimbledon on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think that is a very, very tricky one. I fancy us to go there and get a result. I don't think it'll be as easy as people the so-called experts say.
No, I think we're in for a game like we've like yesterday. To be honest, I think we're in for a game like that.
Do you think they'll rest players and try and survive the league rather than surviving the club?
No, Pep never rests players, does he? He always goes out.
No,
especially
Luton.
Now with Luton.
Yeah.
I don't know,
they're kind of in a Wigan situation at the moment here, where they're borderline relegation. But then do we put all our eggs in the relegation basket, or do we put them in the cup? And they decided to put in the cup, and it worked for them. Good on them. But
just a shame we don't play Luton in the league last game of the season, and we got a chance to relegate them like they did with us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Pep's.
You're hoping Pep's wearing a brown cut. You're hoping Pep's wearing a brown suit for that one.
I was on the pitch that one, and he ran past me, Cleet.
Should have legged him up.
Bob and Lewis will play, I reckon, against. I think Oscar Bob.
I like him.
I do. He seems Oscar Bob seems to have that mixture of a Grealish and Doku. Quick feet. He's good at going forward, and he's all right at getting back. But at the moment, I don't consider him a 90 minutes player.
Oh
no. Worst is you got to be careful what opposition are against, because if they come up against really tough physical opposition, they'll just get muscled off the ball all the time.
Yeah,
great players, but for them to go mark up against big defenders from say like your Aston Villas, Lutons, and things like that, they need another 3 or 4 years of of building up physical strength and being able to be strong on the ball, because at the moment they're just going to get bulldozed. Yeah,
he plays Lewis and United, he'd get overrun. Yeah, they crucify Lewis.
Listen, I think I know this talk. Why is Pep not playing Lewis? I think he's doing the same as what he did with Foden. But although he's not been dipping in and out at the moment, let's not forget he's skipped a year of football to join us in the first team. So let him develop. Because it's too easy for what in your own, if you like, to come in the first team. It's not always viable for that to happen, is it?
No, it's for, I think for Pep, it's for like them type of players being in around the first team and training with the first team. Like anybody that Pep didn't want in around that first team was out and long.
Yeah,
I think a crucial thing is if you go until the end of next season, let's say you set a provisional date, the end of next season, say, and you don't hear anything come out of the club or come out from people at ITK in the club that Rico Lewis has come into Pep's office or Oscar Bob's gone into Pep's office and said, I want more game time, then you get the sense that there's a bit of a Phil Foden sort of nurturing and bringing them into the game and things like that. And they are sensible, professional, maturity beyond their years players as well, both Rico Lewis and Oscar Bob, in my opinion. So I think they understand where they stand in the club, what they can bring to the club for their age and for their experience as well. And I think as long as they just trust in Pep and trust what he's doing, because they've seen it firsthand with Foden. I think we'll see. I think we'll see I think we'll see the fruits of their labour in the coming years. But as long as they don't do a Jadon Sancho, they're well on their way to becoming successful players for us. I do believe it.
Do you know what? A good point on that as well? What I believe is something what Pep said in an interview and something what Cole Palmer said, basically where Cole Palmer has gone knocking on the door, demanding it, to start. And Pep says to Cole Palmer, and this has come from Pep as well, that he told Cole Palmer, be patient, Riyad Mahrez is leaving, you've got a chance to play. But he didn't take it. So I reckon he's had this conversation, Pep's had this conversation with Oscar Bob saying, listen, you've got an opportunity to play here. And Oscar Bob's gone, brilliant, I want that. Whereas Cole Palmer...
Aki did.
Yeah.
Aki hung around, didn't he? He could have gone. He hung around because he knew what to fight for his place. Can you imagine Cole Palmer knocking on your door and sort of like try to explain that he wants to play? Because he's not the brightest, is he? Just visualise that picture of Cole Palmer knocking on the door with his tracky bottoms and his dodgy haircut and demanding he wants more game time. Can you imagine? You'd be like,
Prem soon come.
See ya. Yeah, see you, mate. It wouldn't be the most articulate conversation, would it?
Okay, let's reenact it then.
I'm Pep then.
Hello, Pep. Hello, Pep.
Is that Stephen Hawking?
Oh,
yeah. Is that?
I want more game time.
Yeah. Doors open, Cole. Come in. Sit down.
Oh, is it?
No. Cole, pull on the door. No. All right. No, Cole, stay there then. We'll talk. We'll talk through the door then.
Pooch.
Yeah.
Not Ballon d'Or, Cole. Cole.
Cole. I tell you what, Cole. Stay out there. Stay outside. What do you want? What are you here for?
Right, here's one from Anthony. Just quickly, and would you all play Jack at number 10 in the future? I can't see him getting to be a prime minister.
Oh.
No, seriously, I think Jack could quite easily play that number 10 as effectively as he can, on the left.
Yeah, he's got the intelligence to do it, hasn't he?
Yeah, he is, and he's going through a bit of a rough time. He needs support at the minute, and the lad is class. I like him. So yeah,
what's made me laugh recently is that there was a load of the fan base was saying, oh, he's rubbish, he's this, he's that, he's the other, oh, he's crap, this Grealish is crap. Then Doku comes along and it's, oh, Doku is fantastic, oh, he's brilliant. Now all the same fan base are going, oh, we're really missing Jack Grealish, aren't we? Oh, Jack Grealish needs to, and you're just thinking like, come on, stop being reactionary. Watch football and understand it, and then talk about it.
No,
you see, that's the problem is they don't. Half our fan base are brain dead.
Yeah, you're right.
Paddy, say it how it is, mate.
But they are. Jesus Christ! You go on that stupid fucking Twitter and you're arguing me fellas and you're fighting me fellas. Just block them.
Yeah.
No, I like to expose them, as it were.
Oh, really?
Talking to your
back of
your hand. Like
you're right. It's easier said than done, though, isn't it? I mean, I think you've got to be a very strong character to block people. I really struggle. I have to have a row with them and then block them.
Yeah, but something is, I'm having this more or less the same experience now as what you've had with Liverpool fans. When you're arguing with them, I've noticed on our YouTube channel, mate, I'm getting more dislikes now.
Yeah. Oh, well, you'll get, if your business, your business you do selling the mugs and all the rest of it. I was just trying to plug it for you there a little bit. If you've got Google reviews on that, they'll be on that as well. They'll be leaving bad reviews, and this is different. It's a cult, and it's an odd fan base.
It sounds like cult anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keith Hodginson's absolutely spot on. Yeah. Cole Palmer intelligence issue again. Yeah.
Listen, I think he's doing very well for Chelsea. Some good luck to the lad. He don't play for us anymore, so that be right? Let's have a quick look ahead to the derby before we go, because unfortunately, I won't be here next week, will I, Anne Marie?
No, you won't, slacker.
Did you call me a slacker?
No, slacker.
Right,
Call yourself a real fan.
I bet he's in Tenerife or something.
No, Benidorm. I can host it live from Benidorm, but it won't be pretty like.
No, it won't be pretty that.
Like when I was in Tenerife. I think you booted me off, didn't you, Anne-Marie, when I was.
Yes, I think I did.
No, Riz, Eddie will be that lad that he'll be that smashed. He'll bloody FaceTime you and think he's giving Ten Hag a rinse.
Hello, Eric. It is Pepito here.
Oh, Pepito. Oh, mate. So, yeah, let's have a look at ahead to the derby. You can't call it whether you're in form or not, can you? A derby, I do believe in that. A derby's a derby. Anything can happen on the day. I will say one thing. It looks like Hoyland, not Haaland, Hoyland is out. I think that kid has got something about him, so I'm glad he's not going to be available for United.
Well, he's about the only good thing in United's team, I think, isn't he? Because, I mean, I watched... You've obviously all seen the Fernandez rolling around video going around, haven't you? I mean, that... I hope he plays, because he'll get sent off him, I think.
There was talk going around that club that he was deliberately trying to get a yellow so he didn't have to play this weekend.
Well, again, that won't surprise me, because he does try and shirk the big games, doesn't he?
Riz, do you know what I've said about Bruno Fernandes? He's the only player in football history to ever man-mark the referee.
Hey, there's a lot of truth in that, mate.
Hey, spot on though. Oh, I mean, that was embarrassing. Imagine years to come here. I used to play for Man United. Yeah, come on, grandkids, look at this. Yeah. And then they show that as one of the highlights. Oh, come on.
I remember someone posted on our Sydney Blues Instagram when he did that one where it was against, I think it was a 7-0 Liverpool, and one of their players was just getting off the ball and he's barely grazed his face and he's just gone down like a sack of potatoes. And someone's just commented saying, "Yeah, this is someone's team captain."
Yeah,
I know. It's embarrassing. Imagine somebody like a Rodri or a De Bruyne or a Walker, doing that. They'd get slaughtered off our own fans, but United fans.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, if we don't give them a good hiding on Sunday, it's the worst. It's the worst Man United team I've ever seen, if I'm being honest.
Look at the injuries they've got. I mean, the ones that stand out for me, apart from Hoyland, is obviously Martinez, who's a decent defender.
Yeah.
Casemiro is unsure at the moment. They're unsure, and he's had a couple of good derbies against us too, but Wan-Bissaka. He doesn't do much going forward, but defensively, I think he's still a very good right back. But yeah, I think having Martinez not there is really, really going to hurt him.
Yeah. Yeah,
unfortunately,
I mean, when you've got McTominay as your star man, you know you're in trouble, don't you? I think Big Sir Jim will be bringing his boots next week because he might be getting a game.
Well, like Ratcliffe said, he's going to knock us off our perch. Well, if yesterday was the start of that, then
is it the ground running, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, it'll just be more of a
Manchester United.
Hopefully it will.
If we get a good win next weekend, that's going to be on loop here for about half the show.
Oh yeah. We'll just play him. We'll just put him on. Can you not get him on the show, Andy?
Who, Ratcliffe?
No, that bloke.
No, don't get him on the show, Jesus Christ.
Paddy will just be have his hood up.
That'd be brilliant. If we could get him on the show, that'd be absolutely fantastic. That'd be brilliant.
let's hope it's the same result. 2 hat-tricks for Foden and Haaland. Like we saw last season. I was a little bit disappointed with that because we really let our foot off the gas, didn't we? When we went to sit. I thought if we'd have kept that, and we could have put 10 past them that day.
Yeah, we'd have to change the song then, though, wouldn't we?
Yeah, it could have been 20.
Yeah, don't sound the same, does it?
Do you know what makes me laugh with there should have been 10 sort of thing? I remember it was Pep's first season. I think we played an FA Cup round away at Huddersfield, and it was the first time we played him since 89 with the 10-1 game. Yeah. And obviously Huddersfield fans came in and started singing like "Where were you when you were shite?" And obviously the City fans started singing "Scoring 10 when we were shite." And then the Huddersfield fans gave it like a little bit of applause, and they stopped. And then all of a sudden, you heard from the back of the way end at the John Smith, probably about half a dozen of our guys start singing "You lucky bastards." It should have been 12.
Quality. You can never beat City fans' sense of humour, though. That's the thing that we have got. Yeah.
Even against Everton, when we were singing, "You've only one charge."
Or one charge, and you left it up.
You can't be.
Oh, brilliant!
And something? And I've said this as well. I think one thing what will get us over the line in the Premier League in particular is our away fans. Our away fans are absolutely incredible. They really, really are.
Well, that's what the home fans could be if they reduced the ticket prices a little bit, and you could get proper Mancunians in the ground as opposed to selling out to your glory hunting fans.
I don't know, Riz. I blame the family stand.
Well, they need to up the game a bit, don't they?
Hang on, Pat.
They always leave early as well, don't they?
Yeah.
No, that's Martin. That's Martin. Pat, where was you our last home match, mate?
I was in the North Stand.
That's the family stand. Nice try, though.
No, the family stand's on the ground level. I'm letting you off easy, mate.
Oh, you're letting me off there, then?
Yeah, just for this one, because I remember where you were sitting in relation to me.
Which wasn't far, my friend, was it?
Yeah.
Wasn't far. Oh, Gideon. Anybody else got anything before we skedaddle?
I think we should mark the passing as Stan Bowles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, what a character he was, wasn't he?
I thought he was laughing at Stan Bowles then.
Hey?
I thought he was laughing about Stan Bowles then. I didn't even read what was on there.
That was bad timing, wasn't it? Obviously, we're not disrespecting Stan Bowles there. Top of the league has put Radcliffe at 71. There's more chance of
I think it made more sense if Sir Jim went and bought Radcliffe Borough.
There's no chance of falling off his own purchase.
I feel awful now.
No.
I didn't.
Stan, you know what, Stan? I didn't know him personally, but the character I believe he was, he would have loved that. That'd be perfect timing. That what you just did there, he'd have had a good giggle about that.
And can I just say, it's not our Stan. He couldn't. Our Stan is fine.
Stan Bowles, the ex-City player, not Stan it's on the show.
Jesus Christ. We're carnage, Riz. Every time you come on the show, it's carnage. We love it. So are we all confident for this week? I actually think Luton will give us a better game than United.
Well, you know what to expect of United. They're going to sit back and have us in the break. That's it. It's easy to play against them.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
I agree.
It's the worst team I've ever seen at United. So we've got to put them to the sword.
Look at that. Pat's been sacked live on air.
That's a modern version of getting a text message,
I should
isn't it?
know that coming from this side of the world, but I unfortunately I know that.
All right,
Yeah.
we're taking Alan as well.
Yeah, Pat, P45 isn't sun cream, mate. That's the other.
I'm a free agent. Get Fabrizio Romano on the phone.
Hang on a minute. Here we go.
Yeah.
That looks like somebody's private registration plate.
It does a bit, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, I believe we've got a motorbike rider now as well in the panel, haven't we, Riz?
Well, midlife crisis.
Yeah, he's passed his mobility scooter test, didn't you? In the
It must be pretty sturdy
Hey.
training wheels.
Yeah. Can you know that P45? Is it still in the post yet, or is it?
Yeah.
Hey, don't do the post now, mate. It's come directly in. I won't open the email. I'll put it as a spam.
Yeah. We're back to Stephen Hawkins again, aren't we?
Yeah, you have a motorcycle because he can't decide if he's 2-stroke or 4-stroke.
Yeah, we've got level 1.
Oh, it was a nurse he used to stroke. Oh dear.
We always have a laugh if nothing else. Anybody else get anything before we go?
No, Andy, I was going to say, if you want to play, seeing as you've had an Aussie on the chat, I was going to send you a link for a good old-fashioned Aussie joke that was actually told by one of our ex-prime ministers.
Yeah.
Just gives you an idea of, like, Australian culture and I personally believe that we get it from you lot, but, I'll send it to you on the personal chat now. If you want to play it, you're more than welcome to, but I'm sure everybody will get a good laugh out of it.
Yeah.
Just give me a second.
Can you play it from there? Put it to your microphone.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Go for
Yeah,
it.
because it's probably copyright or something. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
All right, just give me 1 sec. Because it's probably going to be bloody commercials. Just give me a sec.
Oh, DC. I couldn't agree more, to be honest.
Oh, God. I don't know if I want to know.
DC, you're absolutely correct.
See, I didn't even see what I was putting up then, as it were.
For the actress to the bishop.
Oh God. Yeah. Are you going to the Manx TT this year, Is?
Yeah. There is a category for the 125 section. I'll look there. I'll look all right on that. Yeah.
I was thinking more the over 70s.
Don't start. We just bloody had a laugh over Radcliffe being 71. All right, here we go. I'll play this for you. This was this was told by the late Robert J. Hawke, former Prime Minister of Australia in the 80s and 90s, known for being an absolute larrikin and a proper boozer, known for telling some of the best jokes I've ever heard. But this was at the 30th anniversary of Australia winning the America's Cup. So he's just talking about it's a great joke that sort of embodies like the Australian spirit and larrikin sort of attitude that we get. But yeah, I'll play it here anyway. Can you hear it?
No.
Can't hear it?
No.
Oh shit. Okay.
Was that the joke? Was that the joke?
No, God. I'm gonna have to share it to you, mate, because I want everybody
He's
here.
been censored.
Probably. I'll send it to you via the chat, but I really want everybody to listen to it.
See, everyone that's tuned in this week, you've got this to look forward to. We'll play it next week.
Yeah.
After we thrash the rags.
Yeah. There you go. I just sent it to you now on the personal chat, Andy. So.
Right. Let's go.
Yeah. Just thought I'd leave everybody on a nice little bit of humour.
Oh, hang on. Let me get it from this chat on here.
Yeah, you're all good, mate. All good.
What we could do like we used to. We could have a bit of a sing song while we're waiting, couldn't we? We just.
Is it on?
Where is he with his? Where is he these days?
Got no idea where Alex is.
Oh, hang on.
I used to love Alex and his karaoke singing. He used to sing us out, didn't he?
Just let me try and. Hang on. How do I get that into here?
You talking about the video?
Send the actress to the picture.
I'm trying. Hang on a minute. Let me. And I know it's showing live on TikTok, but
We could call this the Carry On MCFC 9320 PUBcast, couldn't we?
I don't know how to transfer it over.
No, that's right, mate. I'll send it to you later. You play it on another show, but yeah, like
yeah,
you get it.
I'll download it, mate.
Yeah,
Play it next week at the end. The rags.
He won't be here. Fickle fan won't be here next week. Be in Turkey getting his teeth done.
Who?
Yeah, and his wig.
Why? What's up with your teeth, you cheeky bastard?
Well,
Where do you want me to
if you
start?
get the wig done, mate, you look like Klopp.
there you go.
Right.
Block my number.
Alex said, "Skippy the bush." Well,
I'll leave a link. I'll leave a link in the chat if anybody wants to click on it because it's good. It's really good humor.
No,
Okay,
I'll watch that myself, mate.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us. In particular, Riz, because he only turns up when he wants.
Yeah, everybody else turns up when they want.
Like me.
No, you have to turn up because you're the man.
Something like that.
I can think of other words for him.
Oh, hang on. Blue Art says, "How you get like George Bond?"
All the hairy bikers.
When I'm cleaning windows.
When you're licking them, mate. Thank you, everybody.
It's more like
licking windows and sniffing bike seats.
It's like we've never met.
Yeah. Listen, thanks for joining us, Pat, Paddy, Anne-Marie, and Riz, as usual. And more importantly, thanks for. Oh, and before we go, I nearly forgot. Then, hang on. This is very, very important. Martin over at the Mancunian Way is doing a charity 12-hour stream for Alzheimer's charity on March the 22nd or March the 23rd. Please support him, because 12 hours, something. I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it for 12 hours personally. I'd have done it for 12
minutes. 12 minutes would be good for
12
you.
seconds.
No, I'd have just done half a day or something.
No, we're still talking about the stream.
No,
That's a long
different
time to keep. That's a long time to keep a stream going. You'll have to drink a lot of water.
What I would like to do, ladies and gentlemen, Jesus Christ, what are they like? What I would like to do, ladies and gentlemen, I would like our channel to support Martin's charity one. So, Paddy,
Absolutely, yeah.
Riz, are we gonna join? We'll do an hour on here and we'll integrate it with
Yeah. Is it like the telephone? Is it like a telephone from?
Yeah. Let's. I'm going to throw some freebies and vouchers and stuff like what you can auction off, for the charity and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if anybody in the chat, wants to, throw anything into be auctioned or anything like that to help some money for Alzheimer's, you are more than welcome. Speak to Martin.
Let's get behind that. I'm up for that.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can throw in some stuff too. I've got some Sydney Blues flags, Sydney Blues scarves as well.
Yeah. I hope half and half. Half Melbourne, half Sydney. So yeah, I'd like us to integrate that. Are you up for that, Riz, Anne-Marie and Paddy?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That March the 22nd. Yeah, no worries.
Are you going on your old show, Pat, or the new one?
I don't know if I'm welcome back now after this.
So yeah, let's get behind that because there is big charities what are funded, greatly and rightly so, but unfortunately there's a smaller charities what are not funded. So let's support.
Charity begins at home and all that, doesn't it? So yeah, let's help that one out. I'm up for that.
Absolutely. Right, cheers, guys. We will do. Well, we won't do it all again next week, will we, Anne-Marie? Because
no, we will.
Yeah, you will. Anne-Marie will be hosting, won't you, Anne-Marie?
Yeah.
You sounded really confident then.
Well, the last time I hosted, it did happen, but it didn't quite happen in the way it should have done. And I'm not sure what I did wrong.
Story of my life.
Yeah,
But all being
that's
well,
that's why Mara's left City.
that's it. Because we're a 3:30 kickoff, aren't we, next Sunday?
Yes.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, half
So-
2 on a Monday morning. I'm looking forward to that. Oh.
Oh,
all
God,
being
yeah.
well, it'll be 7 o'clock. If not, it might be past by the time I get home.
Pat, have a
Yeah, it
line.
might be.
Pat, have a line if it's going to be. What time is it going to be for you?
It'll be half 2 on a Monday morning for us.
Well, we'll know the result already. I'll just message you.
Surprised you haven't been egging me. I say, what's the bloody Powerball numbers?
Yeah. So Anne-Marie will be hosting next week. As always, she'll do a top job. So
She will be a lot more controlled than this week.
Well,
Bet on
When
it.
Anne-Marie's in charge, I always behave.
do you?
Yeah.
No.
No. So I might make an appearance from live from Dome.
Yeah, you won't.
Hang on, that's if I let him in.
Exactly.
No, I mean, even if it's in the chat or something, I'll just like,
Yeah, Andy will make an appearance. Hello, everyone.
live from Sticky Vicky's.
And the first ball out is number 15.
Number 2. Anyway, I think we better leave it there, haven't we?
We have,
So,
yes.
Thanks, guys, for joining us, and more importantly, thank you everybody in the chat for contributing. As always, it's always a pleasure, never a chore. Thank you very much, everyone.